Welcome to Smackdown. I didn't think I'd be making this video because I really didn't care anything about this Smackdown. This Smackdown really didn't mean anything, and I'm going to be honest here, I'm not going to be detailed about this review. I don't even know why I'm doing it. I guess I just wanted to make it because of what's been going on. Look guys, if you have not seen this week's Dynamite, you need to watch it. Because it destroyed, understand how much it destroyed the WWE. Last week had their Smackdown. This week had Raw, Smackdown, and this NXT as well. And that one show completely annihilated. It annihilated last week's Smackdown. This week in Raw. This week in NXT. And this week's Smackdown again. 4 shows, 2 Smackdowns, 1 Raw, and 1 NXT was annihilated by one little company who, in the same condition, couldn't get any fans, but were able to do what is necessary because they were willing to do what was right. Because they're willing to make something interesting. The WWE has not made anything interesting. They gave us an incredibly mediocre Smackdown last week. They gave us even a worse Raw. They gave us nothing with NXT. Legitimately, I thought they would show maybe a match. Then they would show something from NXT. And then they may show a little bit of storytelling. They didn't even give us that. They gave us just repeated matches and interviews only. That's not how you make things work. And because of this, and I want to say this, they know they've done wrong. Because now, this next 3 weeks, supposedly, or 2 weeks, they're going to be showing WrestleMania on Fox 1. Fox Sports. Really? They're that desperate to do something. Why didn't they just give us what we wanted? They had people in the back. They got staff in the back. They got seamstress and seamsters, men and women who basically sew. They had the stage hands. They got security. You can't tell me they don't got wrestlers back there either. Look how many wrestlers they had. They had enough wrestlers that they could have done exactly what AEW did, and they did none of it. They just did exactly what they did last Friday, last Monday, and not even Wednesday. They didn't even go there Wednesday. They just had short video packages and showed exactly what they wanted to do, and now they've done it again. Let's get through this. The opening of the show. You got Michael Cole all by himself. There's no Corey Graves. There's no Todd Phillips. There's no Mauro Monaro, which would have been better. Mauro Monaro working with, put Mauro Monaro working with Michael Cole. Yes, I'm sure Michael Cole's a dick with him, but at least they will work together and you get something. No, we just got Michael Cole only. You can't tell me Mauro Monaro couldn't be called in. I'm just saying, you could have gotten Beth Phoenix there maybe. But in the end, it's just him. Opening of the show, we got Mojo Rawley. We got Brokowski, I believe that's his name, because I don't watch football anymore. It's been so long. And then you got Elias and Baron Corbin. And now, supposedly, Brokowski is going to be the host of WrestleMania, which I don't know why they're going to get a host. It makes no sense. You got no crowd. You could do something different, but no, you're going to do exactly the same formula. You needed to change it up. You're not changing it. But then they set it up that now, I thought it would have been Mojo Rawley versus Baron Corbin. No, it's Elias versus Baron Corbin. It's in my face. Those 3 right there. It's just, really? Okay, next. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. Now, I will say it's interesting seeing Drew Gulak teamed up with Daniel Bryan. 2 good technical wrestlers working together. I'm alright with that. But they could have had some of the staff do exactly like AEW. I'm going to say it more than once. They could have easily got some people out there to really make it feel more like there was life. But only with Sami Zayn backing up a Michael Cole was not enough. In the end, it doesn't really matter who won. Actually, it was Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan who won. But now, supposedly next week, you got Shinsuke Nakamura going up against Drew Gulak. If he wins, Daniel Bryan goes up against, guess who? Sami Zayn for the IC title. Okay, here's what we got. It would be interesting if they put people in the seats. But as it stands right now, even though Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan's interesting to me, I don't give a damn after what I've seen on Dynamite. Honestly, if there's nobody to give interaction for those guys, I don't care. Now, Twisted Bliss or Twisted Cross, because you saw on Nikki Cross' shirt, I think Twisted Bliss would have been better. They want the Kabuki Warriors. They're saying they have the time open. Come and get them. Well, come. We want to get you. Go from Raw to Smackdown. We want you. I don't care. I really feel sorry for Asuka because of what happened the last couple of weeks. I just feel she deserved better. Particularly when she went up against Shayna Baszler at the Elimination Chamber. They didn't even give Asuka anything to build up into. So at least at the end of that Elimination Chamber with Shayna Baszler going up against the longest running wrestler other than herself, it would have been interesting to see a 2.5-year-old streak from a Asuka dealing with Shayna Baszler, who's considered a destroyer. But no, they didn't build up Asuka. It meant nothing. That don't mean nothing. This don't mean nothing. And then we had a video from WrestleMania talking about John Cena and talking about Bray Wyatt. I didn't watch it. There was no point. I didn't want to watch it. The only funny thing there, and it was mildly funny, and that was Miz and Morrison in the dirt sheets and wondering who they're going to go up against. And they started making fun of New Day, Heavy Machinery, and the Usos. It was the only thing that was mildly entertaining. And that was mild in a stretchy sense. I don't hate Miz. I don't hate Morrison. I didn't hate the dirt sheet. But because of what I've seen on Wednesday, where they could have easily brought people out to make it feel like something. And during that match, afterward, dealing with Heavy Machinery and the story between Otis and the Dolph Ziggler, which is the most interesting thing I've seen from WWE in a while that actually is interesting. Look, Otis started crying, trying to sell this, while he saw the Mandy Rose with the Dolph Ziggler on screen. He started crying, which I commend him. He's got no feedback from anybody. He had to be internal with that. That means he had to be like a method actor. He had to internalize that and make himself cry. And I can tell you through, I can say this because I do have my Social Security disability, a little really here. And it wasn't lying. I was very upset when it came for me getting my Social Security because I had been rejected once. But my lawyer told me when I had to go in front of a judge on basically in a teleconferencing call, let your emotions come out. I know you're upset. I know you're frustrated. I know you're sad because you just lost your family. Because at that time, one of my last two cats died 2013, near the end 2014. And then my aunt died about 3 to 4 months after she died. So already, around that time, my aunt was already in the hospital. My cat already died. I was already very distraught. And by the time I found out, she was in the hospital by then. So when I went to see the judge, I was just not myself. So my lawyer said, cry. Let them see your truth, because if you don't show how you feel and what's going on with your case, because my case does cover my depression and anxiety, along with my injury. I can't work anymore. I had to just internalize that and cry just like Otis did. I know it's really long-winded, but hell, this is longer than the review. I know I'm laughing about it, but believe me, I was very hurt inside, losing one of the few things I had left from my marriage and my son. That cat. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. And knowing my aunt was very sick and could die, and then did die after I got confirmed I was going to get disability even made it worse for me later in the year. But I can commend Otis in internalizing that and crying. But even with that, I felt empty. Honestly, it did. It felt empty. Finally, I don't even need to go beyond 15 minutes. This is Roman Reigns versus Goldberg at WrestleMania, the contract signing. It felt so... I don't even know what was wrong. It wasn't the fact they didn't talk. In fact, they talked a little too little. In fact, guess what, guys? It was 2 minutes early. They actually ended the show 2 minutes early. It was 9:58. Well, 57 going into 58. They ended it 2 minutes early. That shows how they didn't even understand what they were doing. Both of them, I can see Roman Reigns was trying to sell this, but he had nothing to feed off of. There was nothing they could do to make it stretch because they had nothing. The WWE has given them nothing to work with. It was a point that Goldberg had to go like this with the mic and was just standing there for at least a good second or two to gather his thoughts because there was nothing to talk about. It just felt empty. This show was nothing. I don't even know what, I think I might use that, say this show was nothing. And I'm not taking it, let me crank this back a little bit. Look, guys, I'm not blaming Roman Reigns for this. I'm not blaming Goldberg for this. I'm not blaming Miz, Morrison. I'm not blaming any one of the wrestlers that are there. I'm not. This is Vince's fault. Vince made this call not to try and make this interesting for several months before this pandemic has happened, that the coronavirus has happened. This is due to the fact that he has not built his brand properly. He has given us very little on Smackdown, very little on Raw. NXT has been the only thing that has had any type of build. And now even NXT doesn't even have building anymore. Due to the fact of what's happened to the virus and not wanting to put anyone in the stands, not even their own staff. AEW Dynamite showed them the way. That they could have easily taken 10 people, 5 bad guys, 5 good guys, let them be in the seats, and that would have easily made the show way better. But no, they still acted exactly the same way they did last Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and now today. Nothing has changed. It was nothing. I do not see anything interesting in this WrestleMania. And understand, as far as I understand this, they're stretching WrestleMania over a 2-day period. I think the 5th and the 6th. Yeah, it's the 5th and the 6th of April. Now, I don't know if they're going to do 7 hours on the 5th or 7 hours on the 6th. I'm hoping they don't make it 2 days worth of 7 hours of content. Because if they do that, I will rant flat out. Because they don't need to do 7 hours of 2 shows. Doing one possible SmackDown show and one Raw show. If it's 7 hours each day, not 2 or 3 hours. If it's 7 hours each day, I swear I'll riot. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.